And good afternoon, folks. Warp103 bringing you guys another video. This time here we'll be discussing the first part of the Sandbox server. So sit back, relax, and of course, enjoy the show.
I'm gonna have to rain down a godly firestorm on you.
And thank you for viewing this video. If you like the content, make sure you subscribe to the channel by clicking the icon above, and then of course hitting the bell icon to get notifications when the next video drops. So here we go. All right, now this video is basically part one. There's going to be a practical video coming out that's going to be showing you how this works and everything else and some of the problems, but I'm going to basically use a Word document to explain the problems, that the good, the bad, and the ugly of the Sandbox server. So again, this was going to be a lot of text and everything else of that. So if you're driving or you're doing something else like that, you can actually just listen to it, and hopefully I can convey this as best as possible without basically just making a hash of it. So again, I wrote down exactly what the deal is, and we're going to start at the beginning. Here comes the Word document. So here we go. All right. Now, again, I call this Crew 2.0, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Now, the good, what's happened is and everything else that is there's no more 50% crews or 75% crews. That's the first thing. That's always good, because again, the grind for new tankers and everything else that was just absolutely absurd. It's easier to transfer crews from one tank to a different tank with a different number of crew members, meaning that you have some tanks that have 3 crew members, and then you go to another tank in the same line that might have 4 crew members. They might have an extra loader or something like that. This eliminates that problem. And free 6 cents is, again, a lot of people think this is a good thing. For me, I particularly don't really care one way or the other. It's the reason why I say this is I have a new account on EU, and I'm doing it from scratch. I don't have 6 cents on any of my tanks, but yet I can make it to 50%. Actually, I'm 52% on my EU account, just by always assuming that I'm spotted, and I never had trouble that way. All right, now we're gonna go through the bad. All right, no more zero skill crews. So a lot of people have paid for packages that had 0 skill crews and everything else. That those have gone away, and you're not getting the conversion of it to the new system. So basically, you've paid real money for it, and now that extra crew that had a 0 skill means absolutely nothing. No more special crews, meaning that again, a lot of people had a sabotage crew. A lot of people made the crews for sisters in arms or all female crew and everything else. That you no longer have that available, because again, a lot of people like that. A lot of people like to go in and say, oh, look at my female crew and everything else. That's gone. No more special commanders with 0 skills or unique skills. Again, Santa Claus and everything else. They've been converted over to instructors, but what you get from the instructor is not as great as you had before. And again, special commanders, I had a couple of tanks where I had a whole crew of, let's say, the Christmas maidens and everything else, so that went away. They took those away and made those into instructor. So meaning that certain tanks I actually don't even have a crew for anymore. The crew grind is the same, but just in different form. Okay, if you were getting to a 5 skill crew, the grind is the same for that 5 skill crew as it is to get 5 or 6 skill crew is the same to the 75% crew. There is no difference in that. You still want to take the same amount of XP to get there. So yeah, that's just bad. You make a conversion from one to the other strictly for no reason whatsoever. So you sneeze, there's only a few good. You already see there's a few more bad, and now we're going to come to the ugly. Now, the crew system can be abused, meaning that you can get extra points for your crews if you put them in low tier tanks or you put them in premium tanks. you'll see in the next video that you will see one set of numbers in the original tank it's in, and another set of numbers when I actually put these in premium tanks. So again, if you have enough credits, enough gold, or you have enough real money, you can convert your things over and abuse the system and get a high skilled crew before the system actually goes live. And again, you put them in low tier tanks, convert those crews over and everything else like that, and make, again, really abuse the system so you can have a really terrific crews. Now, I'm not going to tell you how to show you how you can do that here. I'm just telling you that you can actually do it. Next point. Over the 75 points, meaning your skill points right here, so that you can make your crews way better than the standard crew. Now, the way that works is, now Wargaming has a graphic up of how the standard crew works. All right, now we come to the next point. Over 70 points, you can make your crew better than the standard crew, meaning that the max your crew can get, you have a current max with brothers in arms and food. You can't make a crew any better than that. You can get it up to whatever the percentage is in the thing. But now with the new one and everything else, that we're going to pull this down. Once you get to 75%, after that, each progression after that, you can make your crew 5% better, for another 4%, 3%, 3%, 2%. You see my point here. You literally, until you hit the mastery, and you can actually make your crew better than everybody else's standard. Because again, everybody, if you look in the corner, you always see inside the crew, you say, okay, this is the max I can use my crew with, again, B of A, and with food. Now that normal that was there before is no longer the cutoff or normal for that. And again, players that have epic skills or all the XP and everything else like that will be way better on the progression shield than you are for their crews and you. So the gap between a new player, he's going to be here, and a super Unicron or a player that's been in this thing forever and a day is going to be here, even for the exact same tank, and there's no way you can match up. So yeah, that's going to be really, really bad. Okay, and the next thing is skills can make crew better for kills or some other metric. So if you have two tanks that start the battle, same tank, one guy is getting more kills, meaning that whatever the metric is for that, at the end of the battle, they literally can be better, have a better tank than you. So basically, Unicrons will basically always have a better skill in battle, because once they start killing you, that skill gets infinitely better. Now you're probably like, well, what are you talking about? Okay, we're going to pop in real quick to skills, and I'm just going to show you one of the metrics. Now this metric here is called fighting spirit. So you have two tanks, same skills at the beginning. One guy is a Unicron and one's not, or just a normal player. That player does what this says, and his crew can get up to 7.5% better than your tank, even though you're starting out the battle exactly the same. Excuse me. That's what I call really, really ugly. Now on top of that, you actually get a bonus, meaning that you get more XP if your crew is above the 75 level. So above 75 and you're into the other set of skill things and everything, which is showing you trying to get mastery, you'll actually gain more XP for play. So two people again playing, at the end of the battle, one guy, since he's above 75 and the other guy is not, will get more XP. So that means that you're literally, the more that person plays, since they're over 75, is going to compound the skill gap between the player before and the player after. Again, that's really ugly. You're making it so that people that don't have the skill set will literally get run over like a truck. All right, next up, it's going to be pay to win. Now again, this is what I was saying earlier, that you can put your crews in lower tier tanks or on premium tanks. Now in order for you to do that, literally you have to convert those crews over to that specific tank. So if you have gold, and again you'll see that in the video and everything else, you'll see that I actually it was ones in a T14, and then I put it into my Renegade, and you'll see that it literally gave me 2 different sets of skills. And if I optioned it out to the one that has the higher skill and use my my money or my gold, I can convert over and have a better commander doing that. Again, that's no bueno. That's just pay to win at that point. The number of skills are way out of whack, meaning that your spotting in camo is at the point of being broken. Now, again, in the next video, you can see my E25. You will see the skills it has before with spotting, and you'll see what skills it has after. And again, I still don't have a 75 point crew inside of it, and you can see how absurd my camo can be, sorry, my spotting can be, just with not even a full 75% skill. Imagine if I'm past 75 and I'm almost to the mastery, and imagine how broken my spotting will be on my camo. That's going to be fun. The next up, some tanks are going to be even more broken. EBRs, again, they were nerfed, so you had a limited range on your vision and of your camo. Now with the new system and everything else, that they can min-max, meaning maximize their camo, minimize their maximize their spotting, and set their camo to being so low is ridiculous that they can basically, wheelie boys can speed around, especially with their speed. They'll be able to, what we call blink. They'll be in and out of your range in an instant, you know, because again, they're going to go in spotting and then out of spotting. Again, even though they're running away, there'll be the spotting system, but they'll just blink out of range because of how fast they are and everything else, and you'll never really be able to get a hit on them. Or you're going to have tanks like the Chieftain and the 27E basically being able to do the next thing on the list is basically have higher DPM than currently is available in the game. Again, I've already heard people actually getting their DPM so high that is literally obscene, thinking that you basically have the levels of a Badger or a Tortoise on tanks that shouldn't have that, or like Leo 1s and everything else, so that can have their level of firepower way above what is the highest that a slow tank destroyer is inside of the game. But you have a mobile tank with DPMs that's so high they literally can just blast you out the thing. Yeah, that's going to be fun as well. Now, one of the reasons why Wargaming removed, again, a lot of tanks out of the tech tree, so it can be less confusing. If that's the case, why are they making a new skill tree that's literally look like a spider tree, meaning that the thing is all over the place compared to what it is now? That makes no sense. So on one hand, you wanted it to be less complicated, then on the other hand, you're making a tree that's even more complicated, and before you know, okay, this will be the best that the tank can be for whatever given thing. Now it can be so high that's incalculable for a normal person. So yeah, that's going to be really good. Now, the amount of time it actually takes to redo a crew, again, if you only have a few tanks, it's probably going to be no big deal. I have 201 tanks, or 214, depends on how you look at it. That's going to take me forever to get that done, and just imagine people that even have higher than that. It's going to take forever to do this. Now, another thing people don't understand is MMOs. Wargaming is saying, well, we want to do this so everybody's not picking the same skill. They harped about that on the video. All MMOs, regardless of how many times you change the skill tree, there will be things that people will always pick as number one. So what's going to happen is later on you'll have someone just like this, or will have a text spreadsheet that says this is what you want to pick to have the maximum for this specific tank, or this specific tank needs these specific skills to min-max them so you can get out of it. So everybody literally will later on, after this gets figured out, be like, oh, let's go online. Let's say, oh, okay, that's the best thing. Everybody agrees that that's the best thing for the tank and everything else. Boom, that's what I'm going to put on my tank. So for them to say that we're doing this because we want people to have the different options is disingenuous, because again, every MMO that I've ever played, the exact same thing happens. You're going to find out what the maximum is, and everybody's going to be using the exact same thing for whatever character it is, or tank or ship. It's always been like this. Okay, some things you're actually paying for twice. Now, again, the barracks is one of those things that you're paying for twice. You've already paid for barracks. They're converting it over to something else that a lot of people won't use. It's not going to make no difference to them. And then you have to pay for more barrack space at the end. Now, granted, they are going to give you some the new barracks for every tank that you have and everything else like that. But if you accumulate or want to accumulate more crews than that, you'll have to pay for that stuff all over again. I'm a person that actually paid a lot for my barrack space using gold, because I didn't have enough barrack space to move my crews around the way I want to. Now, again, I have to pay for them again if I get to that point where I need to do that. Conversion rate is not linear. We've already discussed this again. It's supposed to be linear, so meaning that it doesn't matter if I put the crew in this tank here, or if I put the crew in that tank here, I should get the same number of XP. It's not, or XP or skill points. It's not. Literally, if I put the tank in this tank here, I can get one set of numbers. If I put this same crew or part of the crew in another tank that's a premium tank, I can get another set of numbers for the amount of points given. Again, you'll see that in the next video and everything else, that where you'll see that happen in person. So some of the directives are not getting transferred over. There's two sets of directives that basically are the amount of directives you have now is larger than the amount of directions going to be in Crew 2.0. So, and again, I'm not sure if this is a bug or not and everything else like that, but two sets are converted into one set. And the way it is right now, let's say, I discussed this in the next video, so that I have one that should have almost 100 of a directive, but when I look at this in the new system, I only have half as that number, because they merged it again. I don't know if that's an error, it's for that, but again, this is stuff that should have been fixed before this sandbox even came to existence. And again, if you have money, you'll have access to, again, it's spelled wrong here, that's fine. You'll be able to get more direct than free-to-play players, meaning that if you have money, you'll be able to have Twitch Prime. You'll be able to get some of these people readily every month for free, because again, you're paying for it. You're paying for Twitch Prime, and you'll be able to get some of these people for free, or you'll have to get some of these persons out of the loot box, again, by paying money to actually get that further along. So again, if you pay money, you're going to be not just pay to progress, you'll literally be able to pay to make your tank better instantly. Because again, if you have Twitch Prime, you get a commander, you sit there and put that commander on your tank, boom, instantly you get an additional couple of points. That's pay to win. So that's all I have for you and everything else. There's more things to discuss. This is just my preliminary things of going through it for just over a day, and I found this many problems. What's going on with this? There's more, but I think this is sufficient enough to say it's like that. You can see the amount of good things that were done versus just the bad, and then the ugly is just insane. This is not ready for prime time. Again, the next video will have a practical demonstration of what's going on and everything else. That please take a look at that as well. But for me, Crew 2.0, again, you could do a lot of different things with the current system by making it, you could do what's here, no more 75%. You make everybody have 100% crews. That's easily done, because they literally did this for a period of time when you were able to test out a tank. They gave you 100% crew, or low tiers, you see that they actually give you 100% crews. So when you buy a new tank, they could have done that. You automatically had 100% crew. You don't need Crew 2.0 to do this. The transfer crews to a different tank, easy way to do that is if the next tank requires another loader and you already have a loader, when you transfer your crew over to that tank and everything else, that it would automatically duplicate what that loader is, and it will be attached to that tank. You couldn't switch it, you couldn't do anything with it. So whatever skills it gets for the first loader, it will automatically propagate over to the second loader. If you had taken the crew out of that tank, put it into a new tank, the loader that's there would stay there, but you couldn't access it, you couldn't change it. It's just there, stuck to the tank. That would have been an easy way to fix the problem with differential on crews, and that would have been just a little bit of a coding issue. Again, the 6th sense thing is up for debate and everything else. So that you're making it easy mode that people would have to think. It's like that, well, 6th sense, am I spotted or not? Again, if you automatically assume that you're spotted all the time, if you have that mindset from the beginning, you literally would die less often, and you won't need to assume 6th sense, because 6th sense is a crutch, because that's 3 seconds that you're spotted anyway, and before 6th sense pops up. So in that 3 seconds, you literally can get destroyed and wrecked, and 6th sense will never go off, and you're like, but what killed me? You're still in the same boat. Well, that's all I have for you guys today and everything else. Again, this is video number 1. Check the practical video out for number 2. Thank you guys for watching. I sure appreciate it. This is Warp103 saying warp out, have fun, and of course we'll catch you on the next one.